Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be hosting Alex ZZT231 with his grey Celica 2ZZ swapped. If you haven't checked his Instagram, I would advise you to do so because he's posting sometimes some videos, stories, etc. about his car that are sometimes informative, sometimes just fun. In today's video he will be swapping his really bad old 1ZZ detuned exhaust system that was really restrictive to a way better high flow PPE 4-to-1 headers to a straight pipe with a Varex muffler, well basically an open and closed valve type of muffler. You will see his progress. He will be showing a couple things, talking about ideas, showing how he's doing it. Unfortunately we don't have clips of the installation. I would advise you to take the phone or the screen of your PC, whatever you're watching, a little bit further because this guy is getting naked and all that stuff. So if you have people around you, I would again advise you to just check your environment before you proceed to watch the video. Jesus Christ. At the end of the video we will have a talk about the results. As you can see, the video is already edited, but I just found out that I haven't made an intro, so we will talk again once we finish the whole video about the results on the quarter mile with a draggy, and other than that, enjoy.
So I've made some progress. Don't mind the mess. Mother's gonna kill me tomorrow, not today. So, cleaning off the surface. This is a dry erase marker, yes, used in whiteboards. This is what I have, this is what I'm gonna use. So, I know I had problems here and here. Am I even in the frame? Yes, now I am. So I had problems in these two areas, the main problems, especially here. So, since I've made some progress, I will only paint around the runners themselves. Since I know these ones are good, just double checking a little bit. And I had problems around this area here, so I will paint here again. Once again, before the experts go in the comments, this is a DIY version of resurfacing something. You can clearly not do this in for like cylinder head or something like that, because there you need to actually measure how much you're taking off. In this case we don't care how much we take off because it doesn't matter. This thing has no compression. We just need it to be completely level. I know for a fact I had some problems here, so this is where I'm gonna paint a lot. I will put on a shirt, but it's extremely hot, and doing this gets you even hotter. We have this, the two problem areas we had, and then this is a 100 grit sandpaper I got in a roll. This is a piece of marble I had laying around, and now you might be thinking, hold on, isn't WD-40 like a lubricant? Won't it make it slide and cut less? Yes, but it will also prevent the sandpaper from sticking, from holding on to the metal shards. It will slide off, so it actually will cut for longer, but a little bit worse. It's a way better trade-off than having to replace sandpapers every 5 fucking seconds. Of course that's an exaggeration. So, you take your exhaust manifold, make sure it's flat. You can tell now because I need to put actually, how can I explain this so someone can understand? Right now I can tip it over very easily. Here I cannot, it takes pressure, like I can feel it. So this is where it's the right angle, it's completely flat. Now you will notice, I don't have a video of me doing it before, but it will slide a lot easier now because it's level and it doesn't grip onto points. So, get into the mounting position. Notice how I'm keeping it level, applying pressure downwards so it doesn't switch left and right. So now, if we take a look, we can see our main problem areas. Okay, rag remove. Do not swipe, tap, because it will remove the marker as well if you swipe it. We're pretty close to being okay. This little corner still needs some sanding, so that means that this piece is high. And on the other corner, this has also gotten a lot better. But as you can see, there is still a small speck of blue here. So we're gonna continue sanding. In the next, this was definitely nothing. I've been sanding for like 15 minutes now, like this. 20 minutes. That's why you're also hearing me breathe very heavily. But yeah. See right there, it suddenly, you could also hear it, that the sanding sound changed. And I also felt more resistant. That means that I let it tip over, like this. So it was riding this edge. It's not that hard to do, you can definitely start feeling it. But yeah, also, a pro tip. Before doing this, get your Dremel with one of these small attachments, sandpapers, and add the bevel around this edge right here. A small 45-degree angle, doesn't have to be exact. There, just I added, so it doesn't catch the angles on the sandpaper and destroys either your sandpaper or moves you around. So yeah. Let's see if we've made any progress or if we will be here all night. I would call this side pretty much good, especially considering it's a DIY. You could see how much we knocked off. And on the other side, it's gotten better. It still has a little bit of a blue paint mark here, so that means it will leak. So I say this is pretty good. I'll continue a little bit more and update you once it's done. Some progress is made. As you can clearly see here, it almost surrounds the runner, so it's good. Like that side's done. And now we still have some problems here. We'll continue sanding this way. And then I will recheck by repainting the entire surface and making sure it's good. So I'm happy with this result. As you can see, absolutely no paint in the middle. Once again, a very minimal amount of this corner, but I'm pretty sure this will be covered by the flange itself, the gasket. And over here around the runner is completely clean. So I do believe this is not gonna leak. And yes, I'm gonna clean it up and show you a summary of all the parts that are going on the Celica. Here is another point of view. Yeah, this looks a lot like more clean. As you can see, this part right here is completely perfect basically. Yeah, it has a nice crotch, kinda like a crosshatch all the way around. See, these grooves right here, they were all over from here, starting from this whole entire piece was covered in these very deep grooves. Now you can barely feel these ones that are near the screw hole, which doesn't matter. Over here your nail does not get stuck anywhere. It's perfect around here, baby smooth. So yeah, this process works quite nicely. So these are the parts for the Celica, the PP header, the PP copy header, which we just resurfaced, It has one bang for the AFR sensor, one for what I'm assuming is exhaust EGT sensor. Now this connects over here, which has the two factory bangs for the lambda sensors, flex pipe all the way through the car, under the car actually. Now this is where this exhaust gets interesting. The previous owner at least had it going through the rear camber arm of the Celica. When I mean through, I actually do mean through. The camber arm goes kind of like this, and this is the lower control arm. That went exactly through the middle. So this is the part that goes through the camber arm, bolts here, and then this exhaust had previously had this HKS high power, you know, the very common muffler. I cannot drive the car like this around here because I will get busted in a few seconds. As you heard before, the cops are already looking for a guy with a PP exhaust. I was working with this on my hands a few hours ago, so yeah. So, instead of that, I decided to go with the Varex system. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. It's a muffler with a built-in valve, which basically blocks off this pipe kind of over here, and it sends the gases on this bar right here and then out the back. If you notice, and also open the flash, you can see that little hole over there and the valve right there, the valve gate. So basically, as you can see, even with the valve closed, there are perforated edges all over that thing, all over this tube. So it gets muffled one by there, and then this hole is the bypass basically. This hole goes over there on the other side and muffles all the sound using, I'm assuming, all the sound deadening material in this thing. Note, there are many copycats of this. This was quite expensive at around, I think, 400 euros, if I remember correctly. There are knockoffs of this costing like 150, 190. This is the original one. You can see over here the part number, you can see the plate over here, the engraved letters, and you can also feel it. Like, I've seen one of the knockoffs, you can tell the difference. So this is the motor for the valve. Quick note, which I just realized because I noticed it. These electronic valves, you know, there are the vacuum ones and the electronic ones. These have a very bad fame, let's say, reputation. Not the Varex ones, generally, the cheaper ones. They usually tend to get stuck. My guess is that this right here, this gear, as you can see, this is brand new. I literally just bought this today. It is already rusted. So my assumption is these two get rusted together if you don't open or close it consistently. Assuming this is under the car, this will get water here, condensation, everything. So my plan is to remove these bolts, clean this up as best as I can, and then dip it in some oil. This and that gear over there. Normal, in this case 10W60 oil, and then every now and then go on the car using an oil spray and spray this. Not necessarily. The guy who sold me this is supposed to be working with this company, and he said that there's no maintenance needed, but why not? It will only make it better. So this is the exhaust system for the Celica as of now, and once this is on the car, I will have a before and after video of the sound, how well the Varex valve system actually works with the naturally aspirated 2GCG engine, and a few more comparison videos, especially my favorite one at least, the 60 to 160 draggy time, because I believe there will be a huge difference there. Not necessarily huge, but quite significant. Also on a side note, this, some of you might already know what this is. This has been waiting like this for almost like 2 months now, I think, because the exhaust was not here. So now that the exhaust is here, this can get crimped on the connectors, and maybe, I don't know, maybe get installed. I don't know what it is for. Δες εδώ πως είμαι ανάποδα κρεμαζμένος, αλλά δεν φτιάχνει καλύτερα. Οπ. Και λογικά και πίσω. Might as well show this, since this should be part of the exhaust kinda. So, as you know, the Varex systems come with this remote, one for your keys and one to keep, focus decided not to work, and one to keep on your car. But having to search for the remote, find which is button A, which is button B, which opens blah 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 blah, or during the launch it went into the back seats or whatever, it's kind of a hassle. So I wanted a kind of an OEM looking clean look to keep it at one certain spot. And the Celica had a couple of actually I'm not gonna show this yet, but it had this. Since I have the poor version, it had a couple of plugs, actually one exactly plug. So took that, got some measurements and started designing on Fusion 360. This was the idea. It got many iterations until it went on this. Got a 3D print. Actually right now it's printing the hold down for the main board itself. This is what it's printing. Sliced in Cura, 0.4 millimeter nozzle and a couple of settings, which took a bunch of time to get correct, but the result is very nice. So, as of now, this is the main concept. This right here is the plate. In direct channel you can see the details of the bed, but once it's mounted in the car, you will be very hard pressed to see that it's not OEM actually. It's gonna be, it finished. Let's check that out as well with some new ironing settings. So, this is gonna be the button. The main board is somewhere around here. This is the board of the system. Fun fact, this uses a 12 volt 17 milliamp 23 amps battery. So yeah, I'm thinking I could also hardwire this so it gets permanent power from the car. But for now I left it on with the battery, got a holder for the battery and moved it out of the way. So this goes on there, clips right here firmly into its place, does not move. Threaded inserts just so it's a bit stronger and you can unplug it 1,000 times without it breaking. These are EMP2, if I'm not mistaken, threaded inserts, small bolts, the cheap-ass Chinese screwdriver for the home. These are the thread inserts I used. It does not say the millimeter on this, but yeah, they are from AliExpress, so what do you expect? Fun fact, this is what we're gonna try right now. This is a cookie cutter, but if I could get the lighting right, you would be able to notice. Yes, do you see this part right here? That is 3D printed. That's the iron setting I'm about to try right now, and it worked. As you can see, this is the top layer and the ironing, even though you can see some problems right here, it went on pretty decent for an Ender 3. But yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with an Ender 3. This specific one is also running Clipper, so with a few calibrations that I've done, it works wonders. No doubt everyone likes this one.
printed in PETG since it's not gonna be heat. Actually, there might be a small chance they will deform a bit during summer if it gets extremely hot, unusually hot actually, but since they're printed in PETG, everything should be fine. I will put everything back together and show you the final result. Attempts where I was trying to break off the threaded insert and see if it actually will come off with by over screwing it, and yeah, no, the piece broke before it even considered removing the thread insert, so that will be a no problemo moment. That was cringe. Anyways, so this is the final product, the kind of final product. I will actually cover this in electrical tape just to be safe and mount this somewhere around here, maybe under that, doing something like this actually. Anyways, I will tidy up the wires, everything, but when it comes to functionality, you will see a small blue light once I press this. Check. And for the now my fingers are kind of big for this, but yeah, you cannot. Everything works as intended. I might have to revise this for bigger fingers, but there wasn't actually a lot of space to work with, so yeah, the icons are pretty clear. Top for closed valves, this for the open straight pipe hole basically. So yeah, you can kind of see the green parts. Like this you will never be able to see it, but I wanted to be able to see the light so I know it actually worked. So yeah, that's about it for this, and yeah, moving on. So excuse the mess, but it is installed, and as you might be able to see now, the valves are closed. It should be this part right here, pretty much closed. So everything works as intended. Very nice.
Κάνε, ναι. Εντάξει, καλά, είσαι πας αυτόφορο. Well boys, I finished the intro, but I found out that my clips are not good after the race, and the microphone for some reason wasn't working properly, so I will have to redo everything and talk about the times. So the greatest time that we had was 15.0 and 14.7 after the exhaust. Now many people can say many things, okay, and for that reason I'm here to not just throw a couple numbers at your face and say, hey, the car is way faster now, because we did something like that with the 6-speed LSD transmission swap. If you haven't watched this video, I would advise you to do so. It's a very nice video about the 1ZZ 5-speed on the 2ZZ on the quarter mile, and a swap to an LSD 6-speed, you know, the close ratio 2ZZ T-Sport transmission, C60, C64. Looking at draggies straightforward doesn't mean anything if the difference is not huge. Here 0.3 milliseconds is kind of huge, it's not that small. About the slopes, guys, don't mind them. It's the draggy not being accurate. It's the same road, you can see on the video, same lane, same pavement, same asphalt, everything the same. The only thing that's not the same is the temperature and the humidity on the air, and all of those actually play a role. And not only, Alex is not 100% ready and connected with his car for the quarter mile yet. He's trying to get better runs, he's trying to adjust his launch, and we could give, if we count everything, for example, 0.1 milliseconds driver error, okay? Alex was indeed way better on this run. You can see it on the 16 feet, how the car is already 0.1 faster. It is 0.1 faster. His launch has nothing to do with the previous launch, and you can see 0 to 100 kilometers, 6.7 to 7.3. This difference is enormous, and obviously if the car has that momentum to keep going from the beginning, it will be faster till the end. Every trap second he will be faster by a little bit, so it makes sense. But what doesn't make clear sense is that we have 4 kilometers difference exit speed, okay, from 151 to 155. 4 kilometers might not sound huge, but it is, and that just shows how the car is able to keep pace. It's not just that he did a better launch and eventually he had to speed the same, if not lower, because the car is now ahead every second, so he will be closer to the quarter mile and not that close to the 151 kilometers per hour mark. I don't know if you can exactly understand me because I'm butchering some words right now, but I'm trying to give you the perspective of how it is related to the launch. The 15.0 you see, it could be a 14.9 with a little bit better driving, but this 14.7 can be easily a 14.6 as well. So it's not that we get the best of the best runs against one really bad run, we get a pretty nice run against a very good run. So the difference kind of equals out. Other than that, I don't see many other things. I have both draggies in front of me like a professor, but the car is really capable. Alex himself is really capable. Great run again. I told him the moment he did it, and right now again, shout out to him. He did a great launch. Even though 246 might not seem great, trust me, with a front wheel drive setup, take a draggy, do a 16 foot, and you will understand that, yeah, it is not that easy. Without making the video longer for no reason, me myself, I will approve this mod as of a good mod for the quarter mile and obviously everything else. Plus, Alex is not using a stock exhaust. That is again something you have to keep in mind. His exhaust was way strict, way stricter actually than 2ZZT Sport exhaust. So maybe the difference is not all that huge against a normal 2ZZ swap. With a good header exhaust setup, or at least a stock one, okay, that's what I want to say. But against the classic 2ZZ headers to 1ZZ exhaust system of the Celica, yeah, that is a huge improvement. Nothing else to say. Stay tuned, more videos coming soon. That was one of the 3-4 part video that we have made. Basically, we've made the transmission with the draggies, and now we've made the exhaust, and now we have the wiped cams because Alex is racing with wiped cams. After we fix that, we might be into making another video to see if just making and fixing your issue with the camshaft is good, does make actually any difference or not. And then the fourth and last one will be after the tune. As you've already seen, Alex is getting an ECU Master Black, and we will be tuning it at the same tuner that I tuned the MR2. So pretty promising results on my car. Let's wish he will get approximately the same, if not better. So love, peace and SGS, stay tuned for more interesting and actually shown with proof videos, and not just take this draggy, it shows that it's faster, it is good. No, detailed, showing what has happened, where we see the improvements and where not. Love, peace and SGS again, and I will see you in the next time. Bye bye.